Phone goes off, don't worry, we'll just assume it's final forms asking you to sign one more document, right? Yeah. On behalf of our coaches, athletic department, and administration, welcome to Miamisburg High School. We appreciate your commitment to your student athlete and your willingness to partner with us throughout the school year. Athletics provide our students with opportunities to grow not only as competitors, but also as leaders, teammates, and young adults of character. Tonight's meeting is designed to help set everyone up for a successful year by reviewing important expectations, communication procedures, eligibility requirements, and resources available to our student athletes and families. We want everyone to leave here with a clear understanding of how we can work together to provide the best possible experience for our students. Thank you again for being here, and for the important role you play in supporting Miamisburg athletics, and we look forward to another great year, and go Vikings, okay? I plan to have you out of here by 6:45, okay? If not sooner, okay? This, just to touch base on this, the Ohio High School Athletic Association asked you have parent meetings. We haven't had one in a few years. And talking to a district brass downtown, it felt like it was better that we started doing these again. So I'm following my boss's orders and I'm doing them. And the good news is, if you have multiple sport athletes, like you have someone, maybe your son or daughter is involved with fall and they're in the spring, don't come to the spring one. Okay, just one a year. And also going to be, Mr. Freeze is videoing this, and we'll send these slides to you through final forms, and the actual presentation will be done as well. So I do thank you for coming tonight, and I will try not to bore you too much, okay? So just real quick, if you don't know me, Jason Shake, athletic director. I've been in the district for, I don't know, almost 30 years. Started out as a coach, then teacher coach, and coached football, swimming, 6th grade science, and on to the athletic department as the assistant for about 10 years, and then Mr. Osborne retired, and here I am. Our two assistant athletic directors, Zach Myers and Matt Muncie, are in the lecture room with our fall coaches, having our fall coaches meeting that we have to have. That's why you do not see them out here. Real quick, I'm going to introduce you to Laura Stafford. She has a couple of things to say. She is one of our athletic trainers here, as our Kelsey Eddy and retired Dave Cookson helps us out as well.
Hi. Some of you know me, some of you have unfortunately had to see me for your kids in the past. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this season you just get to say hi with no need whatsoever. But if you do need us, starting next week, we are going to be in pretty much all day. We're going to be there from 7 a.m. till probably 3, and then back for a couple hours in the evening. So if you need us for anything, please feel free to call. Our phone numbers are on here. We do ask, if you want to call us for something, if you have an injury, don't call us at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday for something that's been hurting for 3 weeks. But if somebody gets hurt on Tuesday, call us on Tuesday and let us know what's going on. See when we can get them in. We want to help you out. If you think of us, we're full-time employees, but we're kind of second shift. So if you email us at 7 in the morning, you might not see that till the afternoon, because we're doing our grocery shopping and doctor visits and things of our own type of stuff in the mornings usually, because we're working later into the day, sometimes till 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. So if you need us, text us, let us know what's going on. If you would prefer to talk, we can call you back, but use those numbers. We want to know what's going on with your kids. We want you to reach out to us. Dr. Daney is our new team physician as of this year. He is a great guy. He did his training in Vail. He has seen all kinds of horrific injuries that he has repaired and gotten people back to activity. So hopefully we don't give him anything horrific this year, but even the simple stuff he's really good at. He is actually going to be seeing people on Mondays at Kettering Miamisburg, so Sycamore Hospital that is now called Kettering Miamisburg. He has an office there, so it's really nice and convenient. On Wednesdays, he's at our Far Hills office. And on Fridays, some of the Fridays, he'll be at the Springboro facility there across from Dorothy Lane, the Kettering building that's there, that's the urgent care. So local options for doctor visits. In addition to that, we can typically get people in same day or next day at our Far Hills office with our regular sports medicine providers that can then refer up the chain to him as needed. So if anybody needs a sheet, I have sheets here that have the information for the address. It has a QR code on it. So if you do have somebody that gets hurt the night before, you can make the appointment from the comfort of your own home without having to make a phone call or anything. So those are available. When I walk away, if you raise your hand, I'll bring you a sheet if you would like it. If you don't want to tempt fate, knock on wood, I don't blame you. No injuries, no paper. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you, Mrs. Tapper. Very lucky. Also on this presentation, there's just a link here to Kettering Health, Sports Medicine. If you need to schedule anything as well, you can bookmark this or whatever. So one key thing about injuries, that just a touch point on real quick, is obviously parents, you have the right to take your child wherever you want to take them. Sometimes we've experienced over the years that, child comes home, my ankle's bothering me a little bit, I'm running to the hospital to get an x-ray right away. Well, it's a sprain, they're out 3 weeks. Well, 3 days later, they're feeling pretty good, they want to play. Well, they can't play for 3 weeks if that doctor that you took them to says they're out 3 weeks. So, obviously, serious things are serious things, but if they're minor, I would recommend, as a parent of, I had 5 children go through here, try to get them to see our trainers, and they can evaluate and get you on the right path to what needs to happen there, okay? All right. I'm not going to review all these. These are on the slideshow for you to look at. These are all the what we offer in the fall. And it's not only just sports, theater, marching band, WGI wins. They all fall under the athletic department as far as keeping track of everything. So, winter, again, I'm not going to go through them all. They're on there. Just one thing to point out, we do have wrestling changed here the last year or two to co-ed, to boys and girls. They do have separate girls wrestling championship, everything. And then the spring on there as well. And the one that's not on here, that's kind of getting some noise right now, is girls flag football in the spring. We're actually going to be doing some surveying of our students, athletes here at the high school in the coming weeks about that. So, moving on there. Okay, communication. I just want to make sure everybody's aware. If you don't know this, we changed websites a year ago. The website we were under for a long time, VNN, went to another company. The company just wasn't good, so we ended up going with a group called Mascot Media. So we kind of opened up a new website. It's right here. The link's right here to it. There's not a lot on there right now. The summer's been kind of slow, but you'll see a lot more activity coming up. This is where you can get your schedules. If you have questions on ticketing and streaming, Final Four, there's just all kinds of stuff on here that you can go to. Okay, so I've definitely bookmarked that. That's definitely a great place to go. We have 2 apps. One app, I'm sorry, that is directly connected to that website that you can get on your phone. If your app or your Android, right there they are. It's a little gray, Miamisburg in around. If you don't have the app, I would get it. It's a great place, again, on your phone to look at schedules and look at everything. News stories come out on there, so if you do not have that app, I would definitely recommend that you get it. That's our district website. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm sure you guys have been there before. Whenever we do a story on our athletics website, or the coaches put a score in or whatever, on the app, or it goes directly to our Facebook page, it goes to our X account and our Instagram account. If you don't have those, I recommend, if you have X and that stuff, you get them. There's the addresses for those. There's the GWalk website if you would ever need any questions about the GWalk, and the OHSA website. Again, I'm not going to waste your time by pulling them up and have you look at them, but I want you guys to all understand they're there and make sure you have them, okay? All right, next. Final forms. It's important to bring up a few things about final forms. The district just went to final forms last year for the educational side of things. We, on the athletic side, have been with final forms for over 10 years. So we're very fortunate. We understand it. We know it. All of our parents and student athletes that were with us for a long time when the district switched over, it was no problem. So some of our younger families it's kind of new for them. You usually see some of this stuff with the incoming 7th graders big time. But that's where you do all your registration, and it happens every year in May or June. You'll start seeing emails. One of the big things is whatever email you have in final forms as a parent, please don't just have that email for I'm only going to get on there once a year, sign my documents, and never get it again. Because that's where communication is going to come from. You really need to make sure whatever email you're using that you're looking at and you're paying attention to it. That's our primary communication tool, information, news, and important news and information. When I communicate with our parents, that's pretty much how I'm going to do it through our department. So it's really important, again, that you're updated with that. If you have a child that ends up with an eligibility issue or a discipline issue or consequence, we're going to use final forms to communicate that with you. we're gonna hit a button, we're gonna put what's happened, and we're gonna send it to you. And that's how you're gonna get that, okay? For most of you, hopefully that's not an issue, all right? All the required forms for the district and athletic department are signed electronically through Final Forms, and I'm sure most of you probably go as fast as you can to get done with that and don't look at anything. I'm just a parent of 5, I get it, I understand. But there are some things in there that I just kind of want to point out, and that's what I'm going to kind of go through today to make sure that you do maybe understand, know what you are signing, okay? All right, physicals, big one, good for 13 months, okay? 13 months. A lot of people will get the physical off the OHSA website. You don't really have to do it, you can. Fill it out by hand. If you go on to Final Forms and when you register your child and you pick their sports, and then everything comes up and they're all like red, and then you got to sign them to go green. You fill out their medical history on like the first 5 questions. Okay, and once you do that, all that populates into a physical form. So all you have to do is download the physical form from Final Forms before you go to the doctor. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of times parents will get on the OHSA website, they'll download the physical form, and that physical form is like 18 pages long. And the last 15 pages or 13 pages of that physical that people are signing and sending to us are already on Final Forms, and you've already electronically done it. So there's no need to do it by paper, okay? And really, the only 2 pages that we're really worried about are pages 4 and 5, that the doctor fills out and the doctor signs. And page 5 of the physical form is what we use to clear them for 13 months. And this is always a big one. Page 4, what will happen is, because you guys know it's tough to get into a doctor sometimes for a well visit. We know that. You got to schedule them out. So if you try to call the doctor and say, I got to have a physical, it's got to be done within 3 weeks, so we can't get you in for 3 months. Well, here, to send the form. Well, so they'll fill out page 4 with that date today, page 5 dated 11 months ago. Well, we can't change page 5. We have to have page 5. And the doctors will not sign page 5 unless you're in there with them. Okay, so if you try to send us page 4 that doesn't match page 5, doesn't work. Okay, and that happens because we know, because we've called, couldn't get in. Okay, what I suggest when I give parents, little clinic, urgent care, they can get you in usually pretty quick. Kroger Little Clinics, we have multiple physicals come in from there. Kettering Sports Medicine, you can also go to that website and get on there and do that, okay? Some eligibility stuff to discuss. Students must be in good standing with the school and abide by the rules set forth by our Code of Conduct. We do have a Code of Conduct. It's on Final Forms. This is it. I'm not going to read it verbatim, okay? I'm just going to point some things out on this, all right? Also, there's OHSA that they have to abide by. I'm not going to read it. It's there for you to look at. You signed all that saying you understand that stuff on Final Forms electronically, okay? You and your student athlete have signed that. So if you haven't yet, you will be soon. So just make sure that you're just aware of, know what you're signing. You can pull that stuff up, sit down at night over a cup of coffee or a glass of water and look it over if you want. Okay, but some things to point out. Academically, middle school students must pass 4 classes in the preceding 9-week grading period, okay? So if you are a 7th grade and you come in and you got a free ride coming in and you want to play basketball and you only end up with 3 passing credits, well, you cannot do anything with us the entire second 9 weeks of school until you prove that you have 4 credits. Well, you're not going to make the basketball team because the basketball coach is probably not going to keep you if you can't play the first half of the season. Okay? So you have to have 4 passing credits. That's really important. I think middle school students have 6 classes. Some have 8 if they're in band and choir and things of that nature. But so they have to have 4 passing credits. It's really important to know. High school students have to have 5. Okay? And that can get sticky because they have like 7. Some have 7 classes. Some have 8. Some have CCP. It can be a little difficult, but they have to have 5. And when you're coming from your 8th grade year to your freshman year, you still only have to have the 4 from 8th grade to 9th grade, okay? So that's really important to know. Those credits are important. If you don't have those for the next 9 weeks, you're not going to be able to participate. Cannot participate, okay? It's cut and dry, set in stone. It's board policy. That's actually OHSA policy. So this is board policy. Weekly eligibility. After about the third week of each 9 weeks, we start pulling grades weekly. Your student athlete has 2 Fs, middle school or high school. They will not be able to participate the following week until they get their grades up. This is a board policy. It's been in place for a long time, and it has affected a lot of students. Okay, so it's very important that your students understand that. You understand it as parents. All of you should have access to your child's progress book. I encourage you to get on that and monitor it daily. Again, I had 5 students that went through the school, and I was not a very fun day. Okay, so I get it, but we usually do a soft check like the 3rd week, then we go right to the hard check. Soft check is, hey, you got some work to do here. Okay. Daily eligibility, and this is more for game days. If you're playing a soccer game, the 3rd day of school, and you oversleep, and your butt's not in your seat by 7:50, you're not playing that night. Not happening. Okay? Practice a little different. We have, if you're not in school, you shouldn't come to practice. If you're late to go to practice, that's fine. But playing in contests does not happen if you're late. Middle school button seat by 8:30, high school button seat by 7:50. All right? So this happens. Kids oversleep. Now, hey, Mr. Shade, I got a doctor's appointment. No problem. Just bring the doctor's note. No big deal. Hey, we got a funeral. No problem. We get it. Grandma's not doing well. We get it. Just communicate with us. Just make sure you communicate with us if that's happening on a game day, okay? I put CCP classes in there. This is mainly for our high school students, okay? This has happened multiple times in the past 2 years. It's just gross. We have high school kids that take CCP classes, and we go to pull their grades at the end of the semester, and we come to find out they've dropped classes, or they failed, and they've only taken 3 classes at the high school. Well, guess what? They're now ineligible for their next season, and it's happened to some of our athletes. So if you are a parent of a CCP child, CCP is great, my kids did it. Double make sure that you're getting the accurate story and you know what's going on, because it can get past you quickly, okay? Just some advice from a parent who's had kids doing it and have had to break that bad news to some good student athletes and good families that their child couldn't participate that next 9 weeks because of the CCP, okay? If you have any questions on CCP, if your child's taking, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, reach out to your counselors, and we'll help you through that, okay? All right, code of conduct, just some important things on the code of conduct. Forms and releases. We ask that all forms are signed by both parent and student, and I know right now the students are going to be an issue because of the domain change to GoBird. So we're going to be a little lenient there with the kids till they get back in school, understand how to get back on their new email. We understand it, we get it. The parents, you should be all green. There's no reason that nothing should be signed, okay? We'll get the kids, once they get their email up and running, we'll get that taken care of, okay? Transportation, this is always a big one. The expectation is to travel on school transportation when provided to and from all contests, okay? We understand that things come up. Maybe why do I need, if I'm going to Springboro and I live in Villages in Miami, why in the heck am I coming all? I get it, we understand. We have a sign-out document. Sign your student out. You just can't grab your kid and go. Coaches need to know where your student's at, okay? And one of the ways we're going to help with this year is we're going to create Google Forms for each sport. And so you'll have access to that. And if you're planning on signing your child out, then you'll just fill that out. Coach will get it, and they'll know that you're going to be taking your child, okay? Hey, some things come up where, I take this person to swimming practice every morning. I drive them to swimming practice every morning. And so after the swim meet, I'm taking them home. Well, we can't allow you to do that. Maybe that's a club team that you're doing that with or whatever. But so you just need to communicate with us. Send us an email. Hey, is it okay? I'm giving permission for John's dad to drive Sylvia home after the swim meet tonight. Okay, no problem. We'll confirm, approve it, done. Okay? But just communicate with us through an email, and we'll get right back to you pretty quick on that. All right, but sign out document, you just can't just take your kid. Our coaches, they know they're responsible for your children, and they take pride in that. And so we want to make sure that they, they're backed up with, hey, I don't know where this person is. We get phone calls at times where Johnny's missing. We have no idea where they're at. So we have to kind of track them down and make sure. So just help with that a little bit. Again, the sign out document, pre-approval I talked about. Moving on from that, so medical releases after injury. Again, I talked about if you go to the doctor and they say you're out 2 weeks and you're out 2 weeks. We encourage you to see our trainers first. Multiple sports questions come up a lot. We have a lot of students that want to participate in 2 sports. Okay, what we do is we ask it can't always work. Sometimes it's just not going to work. Okay, because there's certain team sports that you got to be a practice for. Because you're part of a team. And it's usually a team sport and an individual sport. Team sports named primary sport, individual sports named secondary sport, and then the practice for the individual sport kind of comes and goes as they need it, okay? So with multiple sports, they have to declare a primary sport. And then we work with the coaches to make sure, but we will work with your student athlete if they want to do 2 sports at once, okay? You're the parent, probably suffers more from that than anybody if that happens, so. Okay, this is always important too, non-scholastic sports, and as time moves on, club sports are becoming more prominent. They're lasting longer. Baseball seasons seem to never end. We've got baseball in February and an indoor facility, and the bottom line is, if your child is part of a team sport, okay, and this is all outlined in OHSA, if you have a question, you can call us. If your child's a club basketball player, and basketball season starts, and they start practicing with their team, they're done with their club team until our season's over. Now that doesn't mean they can't go to the arcade and have a fun team night or awards night, but they shouldn't be practicing with their team. Now, can they do individual training? Yes. But they should not be practicing. If we find that out, they're ineligible for our team. We can forfeit. We have to forfeit games. It's just a yucky mess. So if you're a parent of a child that's a club sport, and you have a question, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will talk to you about it and make sure that you understand and you're on the right path with that, okay? And then this is stuff, possession of use of alcohol, tobacco, vaping, and drugs. There's like a 5-strike rule. First time it happens, 20% of your season is gone. You have to take a class. We have people come in from Montgomery County and do an assessment, kind of class. The assessment is like to see if there's a problem here. They'll answer questions, they'll talk to somebody, and then that type of thing. If it happens again, it's 40%. Happens again, it's 60%. 4th time, you're done for a year. 5th time, you're done forever. Okay? And unfortunately, we have student athletes that those higher numbers it's happened to. Now, it does not happen very often. Okay? But that's all outlined in that code of conduct that I shared, that I kind of showed you. It's in that link. Feel free to go look at it if you have questions about it, okay? But if your child's caught doing something like that, vaping's the big one right now. It's vaping. It's vaping all the time. We're getting this kid vaped, this kid vaped, this kid vaped. When I was in school 30 years ago, it was 30 longer than that, I guess. It was he drinking on the corner? We saw the kid drinking on the corner. Now it's vaping in the classroom, or vaping in school. So just it's there, it's real, and we hold our athletes to an expectation that we can't be doing that stuff. All right, discipline policies. This is a big social media one here, but participation in extracurricular events is a privilege at MCS. It's not a right, it's a privilege, okay? You need to represent your school by conducting themselves in such a manner that the image of the school district is not tarnished in any way. This includes, but is not limited to, misconduct, unacceptable use of communication devices, websites, and social media outlets. We've had multiple suspensions and removal from teams over social media stuff. So educate your children on it, monitor their social media, and make sure that they're doing what they're using it for what it's intended for, and nothing negative, okay? All right, these are things that we have to talk to you about. State law comes from the state legislatures. Concussion in sports. Concussions, obviously, they're big. They have been for a long time. It's obviously there's more education on them now than there were, when I was in school 30 years ago. It was, hey, you got a head ding, get back in there, son, you'll be fine. Now it's, any sort of dizziness, anything at all, they're pulling them. If a concussion is diagnosed, letters come to the school, they go to our trainers, they go to the teachers, they go to the counselors. There's a return to play protocol that goes on. It's not we're just throwing you back in, okay? And that's all pretty much outlined in there. So if you have any questions on that, look at that. If you have any questions, if that would happen to your child, make sure you're in contact with our trainers, and we will do everything we can to get them to return to, obviously, just their daily activities, classroom, and then sports would be the last thing, when they're ready, okay? Again, that's all outlined in there. Sudden cardiac arrest, Lindsay's Law. This is obviously, there was a student that passed away over sudden cardiac arrest. It's real. It's out there. It happens to our student athletes. It's happened all over the country. So make sure you educate yourself on that. I'm not going to go through it verbatim. There's also a video that you've all signed off that said you've watched, by the way. I'm not going to pull the video up and show it to you, but it's there. And if you need the link, it's right there, and it's also on Final Forms if you need to look at it. I would encourage you at some point in time to make sure you watch that video. Our philosophy, okay, in our athletic department, and this is probably one of our most strenuous things, okay? First of all, we encourage, if a child's walking down that hallway, student athlete's walking down our hallway, and I think, man, I bet that kid could be a good swimmer. I'm going to talk to him about, hey, you ever thought about swimming, or I just play football. Well, you got to think about doing something else. We're going to encourage your students to do multiple sports. Okay, it's important for us with a small school in the big league, and for us to survive, for us to be competitive, we need participation in more than one sport. So we're going to push that. Okay, and not only it builds you who you are. Although winning is important, it's not the main objective. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If I go to a junior high football game and we lose, I'm okay. I'm not upset. Okay? Well, if kids play, and coaches are doing their job, they're learning, I'm okay with it. It's okay. It's not always about winning. And if you disagree with that, I'm sorry. We can go in the office, we can hash it out, we can talk about it, you can give me your reasons why, I can give you my reasons, we can be friends, you can walk away, it's no problem. Kind of like politics, it's whatever. Okay? But we are not going to push win, win, win at all costs. We want to develop, we want good experiences, especially at the lower levels, especially JV, freshmen, things like that. Varsity, yeah, we want to win. We want to win. I want to win too. I get it, but it's not the main objective. Okay. Just so you guys see this, all of our coaches sign this MCS, the coaches pledge, and you can look at that at some point in time. I'm not saying they're perfect, and I'm not saying they abide by these all the time. When they break these, we address it. Usually they're minor, and if something major happens, then they're usually no longer with us. Okay, but if you want to see what they sign, make sure you look at that. That's again very important, and we talk about that, and we talk about it in our coaches meeting, and we push it. People make mistakes. When we do make mistakes, we try to correct it, learn from it, and move on. Okay. If the mistake continues to happen, then there's usually consequences or discipline. All right? It's one of my favorite ones. You all sign this. Fan Behavior Code of Conduct. If you get removed from a contest, if you're in a football game, junior high football game or a JV game, because the crowd's not as big, and some officials are different than others, and some have we call rabbit ears, and they get upset at the first whatever. He's gone. Well, guess what? Now I get the pleasure of going over and having a conversation with that person that you have to leave, and it's usually not a very pleasant conversation. I'm pleasant, but the other person typically is not, because I get the opinion, I get called whatever, I get threatened. Not fun. And then when you get kicked out of the game, you actually, per our GWalk bylaws that the league we're in, you have to actually take a class online for an hour and turn that in before you can return to a game. So just make sure you understand that and know that. Okay? I scream at my TV every Saturday and Sunday. I understand. There's times officials make calls I don't agree with. I stand on the sidelines of a lot of games on the side of the court. And I'm, oh, hey, but, you know, it's just please, don't holler at officials. Don't be negative to them, okay? I will tell you this. Officials love to come to Miamisburg. We have and I take pride in this, we take care of our officials. We make sure they're protected. We make sure they have drinks. We make sure they have snacks. We make sure they're fed. We make sure they have a comfortable place to dress, get away. And when they come here, they always tell, we get emails all the time, hey, you guys are first class, you do a great job. I want our fans to be first class and do a great job. So I'm just encouraging you to, and one of the things I say, it's at the bottom of this, let the players play, let the officials officiate, let the coaches coach, and let the spectators be positive. So I just encourage you to be positive. And I get there's going to be times that you're going to be upset, but when you start hollering and you're yelling, it's not going to help. It is not going to help the situation at all. So please just think about that when that does happen, okay? When you do get upset over a call. Officials, as you guys know, you probably see it all the time, official shortages, and you hear from them, they're like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm tired of getting berated for, you know, it's a judgment call a lot of times. So I just ask that you stay positive with that, okay? Playing time is the #1 issue with parents. And I will tell you this. It's not okay to enter a dugout during a game and try to have a conversation with a coach about playing time. It's not okay. And I'm telling you that because this has happened more than once. It's just an example. It's not okay. And it never turns out good, as you can imagine, right? I was a parent. I still am a parent. I had 5 children come through here, all in different activities, athletics. I can't think of one we weren't involved with. There were times as an AD, I was upset. I was, over something. You know, I never really said anything. And this is like in life. Like, if you're upset and you just wait 24 hours, 48, sleep on it, type the email, don't push send, look at it the next morning, have somebody else look at it before you push send. Just don't type angry. Don't type angry and don't, I get it. Maybe just go home and sleep on it, and the next morning you might still be, maybe blood pressure down a little bit, you've calmed down. And again, get it, I understand. I'm just asking you to please be, just 24, 40-hour rule it's great, especially after a game. Because everybody's worked up. Coaches are worked up, kids are worked up, fans are worked up, emotion, especially if it's a close loss. Let's just take a breath. And let's just think about before we approach, or because it just typically, I can't remember too many situations where, man, that worked out really well. Okay, when you have a question or your child comes home, I encourage you to have your child talk to their coach. That's a life skill that needs to happen. Difficult, I mean, it's, and as a parent, I still find myself, I have children from 20 to 26. And I find myself sometimes even going, okay, you got to take a step back, Dad. They got to handle this themselves. I understand. And being a parent's tough sometimes. You want to protect them, but you need to go talk to your coach. If that doesn't work, then I ask that parent, coach, athlete meet to discuss the issue. Now, I get there's situations that are going to supersede these. I understand that, but I'm playing time. You maybe disagree with a philosophy or something. And then talk about it have your student talk. You talk. That doesn't get done. Get a hold of us. Let us know. Okay. But if you jump right to me, I'm going. I got to go to the coach, and I'm going to bring your child in. It's a process that's going to happen. Okay. And then the next step would be the principal, and then central office. I just love it when the superintendent calls and says, I just got an email from a parent over something the coach said at practice. What'd they say? Well, I think they cussed one time. So you went right to the superintendent to tell them? I mean, why didn't you come to us? I mean, we'll work that out. I mean, because the superintendent's going to invest in it. So, I get there's situations, and we all know what maybe any of those situations would be. But again, that's kind of the chain of command, and I ask that maybe you try to follow that the best you can. Okay? So, you hear all the time, if you have friends in other districts, I will guarantee you that most of them have a pay-to-participate fee. Now, I'm not talking about soccer team needs $50 for a new pair of socks and help them with team meals. That's not pay-to-participate. That's extra fringe benefits that your kids get. Okay? Basketball team, or a cross-country team is going to run a trip they're going to go up to Findlay, they're going to rent a charter bus, they're going to run a meet up there, and then they're going to go to Cedar Point the next day. That's not pay to participate. That's your child benefiting from coaches going above and beyond and making sure they have great experiences, right? I'm talking before your child can step on a field, you got to pay $100 on top of that fee or whatever, the sock fee and the meal fee. And we don't have that here at Miamisburg. We have not had it since I've been here. Our school board over the years has been they didn't want it. Springboro has it, Centerville has it, Northmont has it. I mean, so we're very, very fortunate. Okay, and I understand our band, our cheerleaders, they raise a lot of money and they have extravagant shows and they go to a lot of competitions and our cheerleaders go to Florida. But that's all done because that's what the kids and the families they want to do. So that the pay to participate fee would be on top of all that as well. So just make sure everybody understands that. We've been very fortunate we haven't. If you've seen the news, and I think the last 7 to 10 days, our Board of Education, there's going to be an income tax levy on the ballot in November. There will be more information coming out about that. Okay, it's not a bond on your house. It's going to be an income tax. I'm still learning about it, trying to educate myself on it, but that is coming. Hopefully, that's again, we support our district levies to help not have those pay to participate fees. So. It is what it is there. Other ways you can help. Support your individual sports booster groups and athletic boosters fundraising events. When you see those things come up, chicken noodle dinner, sub sales, fill the square, fill the bucket, just if you can, help with those, support. Encourage your family and your friends to support those things. Get the word out on those. That helps those groups. I encourage our Viking athletic boosters. We have so everybody knows we have basically a large Viking booster group that oversees a majority of our athletic teams. We have a band boosters that oversees band and guard. Our football gridiron club is kind of by itself, a 501c3. Our swimming is a 501c3. Boys soccer is a 501c3. They're kind of their own, but the rest of the sports kind of fall under the Viking athletic boosters. And that information's here. I encourage everybody to become a member. $25. Money, and here it talks about where the money goes, different projects it's went to just this past year, scholarship winners, and then right there. You can come to booster meetings if you want. You can have a chance to vote, but in the end, it supports our athletes. Okay. If you're interested in reserved seats at Holland Field for Friday night football game, that link's also on here too. All right, I'm not going to talk about it much, but I just encourage you to support the athletic boosters. Very important. This is their pricing to get into all home contests. All right, it's on here. We also have passes that you can purchase to help. If you've got, it adds up quick. It adds up quick. You come to a middle school football game, you're getting charged. You come to a high school basketball game, you're getting charged. Right? There's going to be a fee. We have to pay for our officials. We have budgets we have to meet, and supplies and things for the team. So you can purchase individual passes, family passes. All that information's on there. All those go on sale starting Monday of next week. If you're interested in that, this is the golden ticket right here. And if you have parents that live in the Miamisburg district, or if you are 60 years or older, we'll give you a senior pass. It'll get you into every contest here at Miamisburg for free, except tournament games, and we can't OHSA stuff. So if you have parents that live here, and if they don't live here, sorry, it's for our tax-paying community. But if you have family that live here, have them come see us, and they'll get their Nick, your dad was just in last year to get his, I think, for either him or your mom. So that's a golden ticket right there. Make sure that. A lot of people don't know that, so make sure that your parents are aware of that if they have to live in the district, though. Okay. We stream every home contest in our gyms, at Holland Field, at Harmon Field, our baseball field, our softball field, If you have parents that live out of town, live in Florida, they want to watch, and then you can get a pass for the entire season for $100. Watch every game you want. Okay, great gift. Okay, so that's out there too. That information's on here. Okay, if you have any questions on ticketing, ticket pricing, let us know. Volunteer jobs. They were struggling. I understand. I get it. I know. 5 children. I know it can be tough. We have volunteer jobs, and if you volunteer a job for us, you work. You're a varsity clock worker on Friday nights at Harmon Field. We'll give you a family pass for free. Get you in everything for working a job. We have a list of jobs that are filled and people come back. I'm currently working through those right now, trying to see who's coming back this year and who's not. Once I get the list of who's not coming back, you'll see an email come out. These are the open jobs. If you're interested in jumping on one of these jobs to get a free family pass, email me. Could be line judge at a 7th grade volleyball game. Maybe you're a football player, and you know what? I'm going to go do that so I can watch football games, and I'll go line judge. People do that all the time. Okay, so just when you see that, if you need some help, that's one way you can help. Okay, and you'll see emails coming out in those here in the next few days. All right. I think there's actually 2 more pages, but the Viking Spirit Wear, a lot of the teams do their own spirit packages, and then Miamisburg football, and Miamisburg baseball, and the band, and we have if you've not seen this, it's an awesome website. It's BSN, it's got Carhartt, Nike, Adidas, you name the brand that's on here, you name the style that's on here, you can design your shirt with whatever you want on it. Okay, they deliver it right to your house. Okay, that's something you're interested in, I would definitely look at that. This is new this year. We're selling yard signs. The boosters are going to sell yard signs. If you're interested in that, there's like $25. Orders right here. All the sports activities are listed, name, number on both sides, and support show your spirit with a yard sign in your yard for your student athlete. Okay, those orders are due by August, I think 15th is what that said on there. So, all right, and there's if you're interested in G-Walk Spirit Wear, I put that on there for you as well. Okay, and then this is the official OHSAA presentation that they encourage you to present, which takes about an hour and a half to get through, which we're not doing, but it's on there. You've all signed off that it's on the final forms. We're not going to, but that's there, okay? That is, for me, I did it 6:45. And I would love to do a question and answer session for you, but I have to go in to finish up the coaches meeting. We have a booster meeting after that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, about anything that was discussed here today, please do not hesitate to reach out. If I don't get back with you right away, it's because this is a very busy time of year, but I will get back with you, okay? All right, thank you all for coming.